All right, so the word here is complex, and that's working much better. So we're talking about factors, roots, and complex numbers and polynomials. So if we look at each one of these and we want to solve these, if I were solving this one right here, I notice, hey, there's only one squared variable. I can solve this using the square root principle, so I'm going to move the 4 to the other side. I'm going to take the square root, and I get x equals plus or minus 2i, and I'm done. If I look at this one, I notice that it's got a perfect square in it. So I'm going to move the 5 over to the other side. I get x minus 1 quantity squared, and I have a negative 49. That would freak us out a couple of weeks ago, because if I take the square root here, I couldn't have taken the square root of a negative 49, but now we can. So I get x minus 1, and we get plus or minus 7i. All we need to do is move that over to the other side, so we get x equals 1 plus or minus 7i. And I've got the two roots, two zero solutions, however you want to talk about that one. This one right here, if you tried to factor, because factor a lot of times is a little bit simpler, I'm going to multiply these two together. I'm going to get 8. And I'm going to think for a second, do I have numbers that multiply to be 8 that combine to be negative 5? If you tried 1 and 8, or 4 and 2, or any combination of those, you can't make a negative 5. Fellas? So we're stuck using probably the next best method, which is the quadratic formula. So I'm going to write down x equals, big long fraction bar, opposite of 5, or negative 5, so that's going to be 5, plus or minus, I can go ahead and do the negative 5 squared, that's going to be 25. And then like I recommended before, please don't skip this step. This is going to be minus 4 times a, that's a 2, and c, that's a positive 4. And then this is all over 2a, so that's going to be a 4 there. And then figure out, are we adding something or are we subtracting something? Okay, if you're going to simplify this in your head or do any simplifying by hand, this is going to be 25 minus 32. So the thing underneath the radical is a negative 7. So we get x equals 5 plus or minus radical negative 7 over 4. And the only simplification that we would probably want to do to this is write 5 plus or minus I radical 7, put it over 4. If we wanted to, we could break each one of these and write them in two separate pieces. Okay? Any questions there? Okay, would you put a star by this because you're going to be asked something like this on the assignment? This is called the fundamental theorem of algebra. It was mentioned in one of those videos that you watched when we started off this unit. It basically says this: every single polynomial of degree n, it's got complex coefficients, we normally just have real coefficients, has exactly n complex roots. Okay? So if we factor it, find all the answers over the complex numbers. If it's degree n, it's got n roots. So if we look at this function right here, this is a quadratic. That means it's degree 2, so it has two complex roots, two complex zeros. This right here, this is a cubic. It starts off with an x cubed. So that means it's degree 3. That means it's going to have 3 complex roots. If it's degree 4, that means 4 complex roots. If it's degree n, n complex roots. So when we look at something like this, this is basically a guarantee. This is a theorem, okay? This works no matter what. This is degree 2. We're going to be able to find 2 complex zeros. Now, how we find them is up to us. We know we've got lots of different techniques. If I look at this, can't take the square root. Maybe we try factoring here. So I'm going to multiply the 2 of these together. I get negative 12. Can I find some numbers that multiply to be negative 12 that combine to be negative 1? I think I can. If I have a 4 and a 3, I can multiply them to be a 12. And if one of them's negative, in this case, the bigger one's negative, I can make it work out so they combine to be negative 1. We doing okay there, Samara?
Yeah.
Jack, we doing okay? Okay, so I'm going to factor this one by grouping and see what we end up with. So this is going to be 2x squared minus 4x plus 3x minus 6 equals 0. I've got 4 terms, but I grouped it a certain way. I wrote them this way. So this is going to be, I take out a 2x. I'm left with an x minus a 2. I can take out a positive 3. I'm left with an x minus 2. So I end up taking out the x minus 2 out front and 2x plus 3 right here. And that's set equal to 0. So I factored it. And now I can use that 0 property of multiplication to say, look, either x minus 2 is equal to 0 or 2x plus 3 is equal to 0. One of those has got to be equal to 0, if not both. So I'm going to add 2. and I get x equals 2. There's one of the solutions. The other one, and we found quick ways to do this, we're going to subtract 3, then divide by 2. So I get to end up with the other answer of negative 3/2. So degree 2 right here. And just like the fundamental theorem of algebra guaranteed us, we got two numbers, two roots. They happen to be real numbers, which are part of the complex numbers. So here's what we want to talk about today. This is a huge idea in math. If you can do something one way, we ought to be able to go forward and backward. So if you can use the factors to find the roots, we should be able to use the roots to find the factors. So here's how it works. We're going to take this one and we're going to find the factors. This is not a difference of squares, but we're still going to be able to find them. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to move the 36 to the other side. We're going to take the square root, and we're going to get x equals plus or minus 6i. So here's what that means. That means x equals 6i and x equals negative 6i.
Yes.
Wow.
What are the factors? Move these back. So I'm going to subtract 6i from each side. I get x minus 6i would equal 0. And I move this one over here. So this would be, I'm going to add 6i. So this would be x plus 6i is equal to 0. So the two things that we would multiply together would be x minus 6i and x plus 6i. Those are the factors that we get for that original polynomial. That is that original one rewritten in factored form.
Is it easier to just factor it normally?
You could. It's not a difference of squares, but you could figure out a way to do that. Okay. Take a look at the next one. This one's weird. This one looks absolutely awful. You're not going to find two numbers that multiply to be 65 that combine to be 16. So let's use the quadratic formula and figure this out. So this is going to be negative 16 plus or minus. We've got a big square root. This would be, let's see, 16 squared is 256 minus 4 times a times c. So this is a 1, and this is a 65, and that's going to be all over 2.
That's a ginormous number. But it literally goes to the square root of 4.
Okay, take a look. 256 minus, on your calculator, do 4 times 65. 4 times 65, correct me if I'm wrong, is going to be a minus 260.
Yeah.
So this is a negative 4.
Oh.
All over 2. So this is going to be negative 16 plus or minus 2i over 2. So if I break it up in two different pieces, this is going to be negative 8 plus or minus I. We right about that?
Yeah.
Okay. So one of them is x equals this, so negative 8 plus I. And the other one is x equals negative 8 minus I. And if you watch what happens when we move them on the other side, this happens every single time. That's going to change sign. That's going to be a plus. That's going to change sign. That's going to be a minus. That's going to change sign. That's going to be a plus. That's going to change sign. That's going to be a plus. So this right here is how you would factor that original one.
Why would you change the sign?
Because we move them over to the other side. We want to set them equal to 0. Okay? We want to move them over so they're set equal to 0. Everybody good there? Okay, now the next one, I think everything else is not too bad. I need you to pay close attention to the next one because this requires some deep thinking about what's going to come beyond this. This is not too bad to solve. I would move this to the other side and I'd get 25x squared equals negative 81. We'd divide by 25 so that you have x squared equals 81 over 25, and that would be negative. The cool part about when we take the square root is I get x equals, this would be plus or minus 9i on the top, and it would be a 5 on the bottom.
But.
So watch. If I write this as x, so x equals 9i over 5, and this one x equals negative 9i over 5. Again, we're going to move those to, just set it right there, I'll take it, thanks. We're going to move those to the other side, so this one's going to be x minus 9/5 I. If I move that over to set it equal to 0, and this is going to be x plus 9i over 5. Everybody good there? Okay, now here's normally how we write them. There is nothing wrong with this, and honestly, I probably would leave it this way, but many times we don't like to have fractions. So what we'll do is we'll multiply each one of these by a 5. So if I multiply this one by 5, I get 5x minus 9i. And if I multiply this one by 5, I get 5x plus 9i. And there's some nice symmetry to all that. We still get something that looks like conjugates. Okay, everybody good there?
Yeah.
Okay, and notice 5 times 5 would give us the 25. That's what we're after. Okay, flip the page over. Dane.
So if there's two like perfect squares or whatever, will it always just be like that? But then you can put the numbers.
As long as it's set up like that. As long as it's set up like that. Okay. All right, so if you take a look at this one looks like an absolute mess, and it says find the roots of the polynomial and then use the roots to factor it. Okay, this is not one that we've got a formula for to factor the entire thing, but we could do this. That's a perfect square of x squared, and that's a perfect square of 16. So I could at least break it up using the difference of squares formula. So this is x squared minus 16 and x squared plus 16. Okay, now see if you don't see some interesting things pop out of this one. This one factors to x minus 4 and x plus 4. That's a piece of cake. You might be able to think of what the two factors are here. We're going to write down 2 more factors here. But in order to do that, we need to find the zeros from this. We've seen something like this before, haven't we? Move this to the other side by subtracting 16x. Take the square root of both sides. So you get x equals plus or minus 4i. So guess what we put right here? One of them is going to be x minus 4i, and the other one's going to be x plus 4i. And this is why. Because one of them equals 4i, and the other one equals negative 4i. So when I move this over to make it equal to 0, I get the x minus 4i from that one. And when I move this one over, I get the plus x plus 4i for that one. Okay, any questions there? Take a look at that. You've got one of those on your assignment. And I'm going to slide down and I'm going to take a look at these. Now, there are some little thought questions here. I would really encourage you to think about those, but let me show you how easy some of these problems are. This one is basically saying that's an answer and that's an answer. So the factor that comes from this would be x plus that number and x minus that number. Done. If you want to write the step in between where you add 1 to both sides and you get x plus 1 is equal to 0, that's why it's a root, that's why it's a 0, that's why it's a factor. And you want to do the step here where you subtract and you get x minus 3 is equal to 0, be my guest. On this one, we're going to write, so I just do the opposite of this one. X plus 2/5, x minus 4. X minus 1/9, x plus 2/7. Now, if you'll notice, there's some stars on these last two. Yeah.
You take off the fractions at the end and make them into
We are going to take the fractions off the end. These are perfectly good answers. But I want you to take a look at this. Because they didn't tell us what the original polynomial was, these are perfectly fine. So I'm going to put stars on this, or sorry, I'm just going to put dotted circles around this. Okay. This one is going to be, we're going to get rid of the 5. So this is going to be 5x plus 2. Nothing wrong with the x minus 4. This is probably the way we're going to write the answer. If I multiply this one by 9, 9x minus 1, and this one by 7. So this is going to be 7x plus 2. That's how we do that. Okay, now, I want you to look at that, and I want you to think about, these might have names on them. I, on accident, handed them out to my last class before I realized that.
Oh, Caleb, you can get ratings.
Tyson's? I don't even like
Okay,
it.
Mason,
Give me Tyson's.
hold on, listen up.
No.
From the roots,
I get Tyson's.
derive the original